the 6 core theta strategies: covered call, naked put, bull put, bear call, iron condor, and the poor boys covered call. Those are the 6 that I usually recommend people learn first if they're trying to build a cash flow type business. Condors are great. They're just the most complex out of the ones I just named. Now, by the way, they're not the most complex to manage. They're just the most complex to build because there are 4 components, right? Actually, one of the more complex ones to manage is probably the poor boys covered call, because you have 2 different expirations, and you've got some different volatility characteristics. But why don't we do this? Why don't I take the screen here for a minute and kind of run through. I'm happy to do a condor. I'm going to throw this out there to the group. Do you guys want me to build like a hypothetical condor and kind of show you how we use the spreadsheet and compare and contrast it? Would that be something great? Yeah. All right, let's do it. I'm going to do it anyway. So, all right. Let me know if you can see that.
It's a monarchy. All right.
Yeah, Adi. And Seth actually just nailed them. Covered call, naked put, bull put, bear call, iron condor, and the PBCC. Now, the tool you're looking at in front of you is called our Tackle Theta Research. Okay. Tackle Theta Research. Now, if you are a pro member of tackletrading.com, you should have access to these journals. If you go to the store and you find the journals, you can and many of you will have these as a part of your gold key that you received from Legacy, or at some point you would have downloaded them at some point. But on the store, you'll find the trading journals right here, okay? And you should be able to download them directly. There are 3 different journals. The most important one, in my opinion, is the portfolio journal. It is the least used in our community, which I've got to do some education and a better job promoting it. The portfolio journal will change your trading if you use it and you're disciplined and you log the data. I have seen it with many of my traders. And those, if you guys use the portfolio journal, give your fellow halftime crew a big shout out and say, hey, listen, I use it and I get value. Because Daniel, absolutely. Scott, absolutely. I appreciate that, Seth. We're working hard on that kind of stuff. Now, the Theta Research one is the one we're going to start with today. And there is a video on it that you can go and watch right from that store in the journals. Cody, why don't I drop this link? So there are some training videos on the journals page and whatnot. We'll also put that on Twitter, Cody, and make sure people know how to find it. Now, the journal will look like this, okay? And I want you to see this right here. You'll notice down at the bottom, it's an Excel-based sheet. Covered call, short put, bull put, bear call, iron condor right here. Now, an iron condor is a neutral strategy. In a halftime report, I'm going to assume you either know nothing or you know everything, but I'm not going to assume really anything, quite frankly. I don't know that you've been trained on this or not. So this is not a recommendation to put any of these trades on or anything like that. I just want to show you how to use the tool. First thing you'll do is you got to learn how to fill out the cells, okay? The rules on how to build iron condors are down here, and there are different systems. And Cody, this is really important. Trading the RUT cash flow condor system, I cannot imagine a month in my future where I do not trade it. It would not matter if I lost the previous month or had profited the previous month. I don't use arbitrary discretion on whether or not I should or shouldn't use that system, by the way. I know that different coaches have different opinions on that, notably Matt.
I used a system that was back tested multiple times that cash flows 8% a month. Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I do it every month, no matter what. Now, position size, money management, design, all of it have to fit. It's a part of my portfolio design. So that's a specific system. And by the way, these rules are not that system. These rules are for ETFs and for individual stocks that are neutral in the marketplace. Now, a big component on finding something neutral is that it can't have earnings in front of us, right? So we've got some complexity there. Cody, give me a company that had earnings in the last couple of weeks. Let's kind of pick one here.
Pick one of the banks that went.
Let's throw it out to the halftime crew. We can pick any of them. Let's do one or two and kind of build them out and see what they look like. So Goldman Sachs gapped up. It's in the middle of a long-term range, but very volatile. That's probably not going to be a great candidate.
No.
Okay.
Let me look through what's on there.
Nike had earnings in December. You're about to break out and run. I wouldn't want to necessarily do that. Mid-range point is fine. No, I think Nike's probably okay from a long, if you can get this range up here, up and down. Yeah, why don't we,
not a bad one.
Let's use Nike as a candidate. I'm good with that. Okay. Nike's one. Let's find one more. United Health. Reversal characteristics, post earnings. I love companies after they have earnings, because then the earnings is behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys keep looking for a neutral candidate that you want me to price out. We're going to start with Nike. Okay. Now, I am going to have Cody find me this data. Cody knows how to look it up. In my trading room, I have my research computer over here, and then I have a trading computer over here. I use 2 monitors. I've always been fine with 2 monitors. Somebody like a Coach Gino, Cody, you should sit in his trading office someday. He has like 8. It's crazy. Some traders go nuts with it. It is what it is. Microsoft, Intel, Gold could be a candidate. VLD. We'll look at all those here in just a minute. Why don't we actually pick one more before we go too far? Here we are. So gold, the ETF, I'm not neutral on. I'm more bullish. Intel has earnings coming up. Microsoft has earnings coming up. So, 6 now. PayPal, you're going to run into issues. You have earnings coming up.
Earnings coming up.
Here. All right, let's go find one.
Why don't we do an ETF? Because that's one of the benefits of doing ETFs.
I will do one ETF for sure, but I want to find Constellation Brands. That's not neutral. Previous 5 days. American Express, not neutral. I mean, that's a hard thing. You've got a bear retracement pivot. I would love AXP. Size, volatility, liquidity would be fine. CSX might fit somewhere in there. Fastenal could. Goldman Sachs it's got too much volatility in its range. Netflix has earnings coming up. Can't do it. United Airlines. Boom. There's your candidate. Okay, I'll show you why. You had a gap. Gaps aren't going to concern me off of this. I'm more interested in that earnings.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, you've got a support, you have a resistance, and we're sitting in the middle of a long-term range. Now, there's some complexity in the pattern, and Adobe could also be a candidate. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No, very good find on that. So if we've got UAL and Adobe. Now, Cody, find me the data for each of these as we go. What is the price? And start with Nike. What is the price per share?
Let's see. Nike, we have $78.50.
Okay. What's the ATR on the stock?
175.
What expiration month would we play? Now, remember the theta
30
rule.
30 or 60.
Well, and that's the thing. Cash flow Condor is going to be a 65-day rule, right? But when you look at the theta rule for individual companies, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to lean on 30 days. Okay. So give me a 30-day option.
We have a 29, or do you want more than that?
No, 29 is fine.
All right. Let me increase the number of strikes I can see. All right. We're going to be doing the February contract with 29 days out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Give me a delta at 15 or lower.
All right. We're starting with the short call or the
short call.
All right. Still don't see enough strikes here. Let's see. Delta, we're going to be doing the $85 strike.
Okay. And what's the delta?
10.
And the long call will be the 90.
Yep.
I like 5-point windows.
Yep.
Okay, give me the short put on Nike.
On the other side, we have $72.50. at
Mm-hmm.
13.
Long put should be 67.5.
Yep, you got it.
And what's your net credit, young man?
I didn't build it out as we went. Let me go ahead and do that real
I can
quick.
do it right now. Actually, it might help people to see how to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Show them how to
And let
build
me
it out.
do it. I usually build them in the Analyze tab so I can come back. Let's see
That's
right here.
exactly where I build it because I want to see what my risk graph looks like all at the same time.
Now, by the way, if you are, and before I go too far, let me kind of step back and help everybody identify something. If you are brand new and you've never traded Condors, hopefully you can learn something and get excited about it. The purpose of me going through this is not to teach you how to trade an iron condor. It's to show you the value of using the spreadsheet tool if you're using an advanced strategy like that. If you're brand new and you're super green and you're new to our community, just type in I'm new or I'm green or newbie here or something like that. I always like to remind the beginners where to start. Your job is to start with the 7-step guide to trading. Okay. Your job is not to start with iron condors. The halftime report doesn't have a linear progression of what we work people through. So, on a day by day basis, Cody, we're willing to kind of jump around on whatever we find interesting. You know what I mean? It's not like we're starting from step one. So, if you're a brand new trader, start with the 7-step guide to trading. Let me go to the Analyze tab.
Real quick, Blake, you couldn't do it on the crosspairs of Forex. He had the question in the chat box asking if you do iron condors for Forex. You cannot do it with crosspairs. If you have an ETF of one particular, you could, but typically the options aren't very liquid on those. I wouldn't try to do an iron condor on Forex. That's getting a little bit too complex and unnecessary.
So did you do the 85.90, 72.67?
Sorry, I already switched over.
I got you right here.
Yeah, I did 85 and 90, and then I did 72.50 and 67.50.
Beautiful.
And I got 50 cents on it.
So now that is a 50-cent credit on a 450 BPE. And D, what I would recommend is if your spreadsheet didn't automatically fill out the ATR buffer, go get a fresh and clean version that from the most recent post. It might be that you have an old version, is what I would first test and troubleshoot. And if that doesn't fix it, shoot me an email, for sure. This credit, $50 on 450, is not great. Okay.
No, it's
the ROI at 11% is fairly low. The ROID is not as good as what we would want to see here. So our ROIs aren't very great here on Nike. And that's a lot of it is that you have a low volatility stock right now. Let's build one on UAL, Cody.
All right.
All right. I'm going to rapid fire through the data. Give me the price.
86.22. ATR is 319. The strikes we're going to be grabbing is going to be 95 and 100.
What was the delta on that?
11 delta on that one. And then we're going to be grabbing the 77.50 at a 12 delta and the 72.50. And the credit we're back on that one is 51 cents.
Okay, so now the deltas are lower. Out of the two different candidates so far, by the way, if I'm choosing here, and I've said this before during Theta Thursday, chart cushion credit. The least important factor is how much credit you get. Now we look at it. It is a factor. It is something I care about before I pull the trigger on something. But the chart has to be neutral, and I have to feel comfortable with the cushion. UAL has a lower ATR buffer than Nike. So even though the credit wasn't great on Nike, if I'm only looking at those two candidates, I probably prefer Nike for the buffer. Does that make sense? Right? Give me the numbers on Adobe here, Cody.
So Adobe is currently trading at 243. The ATR is 662. The first strike's going to be 265 at 14 delta. 13 delta, changed as I said it. We're going to be grabbing the 270 right behind it. On the short side, it's going to be the 220 at a 12 delta. And grab the 215 behind it Our credit on that one is 94 cents.
So that means this is going to be a much better candidate, most likely. 94 and 406. Now, here we go. Out of the 3 candidates right now, the qualifying metrics, on Adobe are much better than UAL or Nike. And it's simple. You've got much better ROID. You got a much bigger credit for comparable deltas. Now, here's my challenge. If you're a veteran or intermediate trader, go find 10 of your favorite stocks and fill the spreadsheet out. Okay. If you've used the Theta spreadsheet in the past, let us know in the chat. Let me know if you've used it and if it's provided value to you. If you've never used it, you've got a challenge here in front of you. You could start with iron condors. You could do covered calls. There's a tab for every single strategy. The iron condor just happens to be the one we're focused on here today. Cody, which one you like?
I think I would definitely take Adobe on that.
The metrics are higher. When I'm mentoring somebody, Cody, I usually make them fill out at least 10 to pick 1 or 2 trades.
And something I like to do before I actually pull the trigger is I'll go to the chart and I'll draw the lines where those short strikes are.
Sure.
To see what my bracket looks. And I just use the red vertical lines since those are the expiration dates. So I'll draw just a horizontal line saying, okay, in this time frame, I need it to stay between this bracket. And that's just a visual way that I can use to keep up with my strikes or to see if I still like the trade or if I maybe want to go, maybe not the 220, maybe I want to do the 210 and the 200.
I want to show everybody a couple things as we are kind of approaching the end of our day here. Number one, big shout out to Coach Frank. And Frank, if you're still out there, you're doing a great job on Twitter. Coach Frank is developing a list of traders here, and we're calling it Team Tackle. That if you are on Twitter, go and send a message to Tackle Trading and just say, I'd like to be on Team Tackle, and he will add you to this list. Okay. And these are a lot of our halftime crew and whatnot, so that we can, as you're tweeting and as you're watching the markets, you can see what the analysis is of what it is we're all looking at, right? Twitter is an incredible way to stay connected, and I love that Team Tackle list. And the big announcement for today, the 7-step guide to trading has been re-released. It is live on the website, and it's an incredible free course for you guys to take, okay? So we put a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and I got to say this, I am very proud of it. If you've never built your daily routine, this is where you start. If you're a veteran trader who needs a good refresher, go and take the course. It'll be well worth your time. When you're done, I'm going to just ask you for one thing. Let me know how you liked it, on Twitter, social media, or in email, or you can send me a private message in our clubhouse. Let me know how you like the 7-step guide, because I'm very excited about this. I know it's going to make a big impact and really help a lot of new traders out there that need to develop structure and routine in their trading. And if you're a veteran advanced trader, big challenge for today, go get the spreadsheets and start doing your research so that you have more structure in your approach to theta research. Young man, Cody, good job,
sir.
Kiddo.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Halftime crew, great job as always.
Let's get some likes and shares. And if you guys are watching the replay on this, feel free, add comments as you go along. Let us know. Ask questions. Every time a comment comes through on YouTube, I get a notification about it and I go check it. And I'll either answer it or I'll, send it to the coach who did the video and let them answer it.
Yeah.
So ask questions on these videos. We will answer them.
That's exactly right. Comment, share, like, participate, be organic and be natural. The reality is we want you guys to feel comfortable putting your thoughts, your ideas, and your questions into our chat, into our conversation. That way we can help you guys even more. Today, one thing I'm going to do, it's a kind of a flat day in the market, good theta day in the market. I'm going to go to my kids' school and have lunch with them, Cody. So we are done here today.